Are strangulation and choking the same thing? We've been talking to you about strangulation, and if you said yes to that question, you might be wrong. But just like everything else, there's facts and then there's myths. We're going to talk to you about the truth regarding strangulation and get rid of the myths. So, hi, I'm Debbie Lassiter, the Executive Director and co-founder of the Convergence Resource Center, and I'm here with my colleague.
Hi, I'm Carla McKeever. I am co-founder and CFO for Convergence Resource Center. And as always, we want to welcome you back to the conversation.
But in this episode, we want to talk to you about some of those myths in what they're calling non-fatal strangulation. This is strangulation where the person doesn't die, right? So it's non-fatal. But there are a lot of myths about this. So I'm going to share some, and Carla's going to share some, and we're just going to do a little bit of educating tonight. So the first myth is that strangulation and choking are the same thing. They are not the same thing. Strangulation is external application or physical force that impedes either your air or blood to or from the brain, okay? That's strangulation. Strangulation is external, right? Choking is internal obstruction of your airways. Like if you swallow a piece of food and it's going down the wrong pipe or whatever, that's choking. So there's a difference between choking and strangulation. Carla, you have one?
I do have one. The myth, strangulation always leaves visible injuries.
We believe that, right? We see all these TV shows with them covering up their neck and everything, yeah?
Right. But that's not so if we're going to the fact. The fact is, studies show that over half the victims of strangulation lack visible external injury. A victim with visible external injury can still die from strangulation.
Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something? Because we've got all these movies and everything where they show you these people wearing scarves in the summer and everything because there's these big red marks around their neck. But the fact of the matter is, like you were saying, there may be nothing.
Might be nothing.
Around their neck. And not only that, we may see nothing around their neck and they can still die from strangulation. So be careful looking for these things. I mean, it's not to say that if they're there that there isn't strangulation. I want to be clear on that. But what we are saying is if they're not there, strangulation could still have occurred.
And I always thought, from watching, Law and Order and all these other different shows, that there's always marks. And it's like, oh, it was strangled, some of it, what was going on here. So I never even envisioned, really, this is teaching me because I would not have thought there wouldn't be any clues, that there wouldn't be any marks. I'm like, no, there's got to be some marks because if death occurred through this, there's got to be too much force. But
and what's really amazing about this is that when we don't see visible signs of an injury, how would the paramedics know? How would anyone know if they were called? I'm sure they'd have to do an autopsy, but here we're talking about non-fatal strangulation. So the person is still alive. But we did mention some other things that we would see, right? Without the visible of the strangulation. We see the movies with all these red marks around their neck and all that. But without those red marks, even, you could still die from strangulation. Isn't that something?
Well, yeah, if the oxygen is cut off going to your brain,
right,
for a certain amount of time, and each of us are individuals, of course, and we each have different body makeups. Maybe one person could have been strangled for that long and they were okay, but then you strangle me for 2 seconds and I'm
out.
Yeah, I'm like, whoop,
right.
Because I'm, each of us are individuals.
Absolutely.
So we each have different physical deformities or whatever. not deformities, but like I say, one person could be 2 seconds, another person could be 4 seconds. And you're like, but in your head, you're thinking, well, I strangled the other girl only, for that long and nothing happened to her.
Yeah.
But that's how this happens.
Such a, I mean, who would have thought?
But you shouldn't be strangling anyway.
Exactly. Who would have thought that you'd be having this kind of a discussion? Right? But this is another myth, that if the victim can speak, scream, or breathe, they're not being strangled. And we even used to say that, you know, if they're choking, if they can cough, they're not being choked. But what this is saying is that the fact is, because strangulation involves obstruction of the blood, right?
Yeah.
The air, right? A person can have complete obstruction of the blood flow and continue breathing until the moment they die.
Oh.
From the lack of oxygenated blood flowing to the brain.
Oh.
See, so they can be coughing, screaming, whatever, but if that oxygenated blood isn't making it to the brain, they can die. Now watch this, which a lot of people don't really know about this, is that you can get a TBI, traumatic brain injury, from being strangled. But I love you while I'm strangling you, right? Okay, let me stop. But some people, because there are people that this is a choice that they want to make, that they want to do, right?
Right.
Right?
Right.
Now, there are other people that are like, don't strangle me. You know, there are other people that they believe that this is pleasurable. And, you know, hey, to each his own, you know, do what you're going to do. But in cases of trafficking, which is what we were talking about in the last episode, this is used as punishment. So this person is blacking out because their brain isn't getting oxygen. And they can do this to them so much, so often, and for so long that they black out, and then they resuscitate them so they can do it again.
That's just, and I never even thought about when you said about the oxygen in the blood, because your blood has to have the oxygen to get it to your brain. I never thought about that, and that's just crazy to me that we're even having to talk about it, but yet it is going on, and it's really a fact, and it's like you say, it's more than a notion. It really is going on with a lot of people, and even from our last interview, it's going on with a lot of young people.
Yes, it is.
And I think we mentioned that prior to one of our podcasts. So I think, you know, even the more information we get out, maybe somebody will recognize it. Maybe somebody will be able to tell a friend, you need to stop doing that. But how do you get to that realization, I wonder? You know,
I remember talking to Des before, and some of the things she was saying is about keep asking the questions and but you know how kids are today, and even adults today, you ask them too many questions or they're really mad at you. They're not going to talk to you anymore. But I'm going to say, take that chance, because you could be saving somebody's life.
Yeah.
When you think, I don't think that I ever thought that someone putting their hands around your neck, right, would lead to a traumatic brain injury.
Yeah,
your brain is being deprived of oxygen for long enough for it to be considered that. Some people come back from that and they can't talk anymore. Some people come back from it, they can't see anymore. Right. You know, all these things could happen for what? A moments of, what kind of pleasure is that? I don't even know. You know, what category does that fall in? And what is happening when the person is looking at you and their eyes are changing? You know, or you strangle them so much that they got what is called panda eyes.
Right.
And that makes me wonder about all these people that you see getting this makeup because they got dark circles under their eyes. Where did those circles really come from? Now, that doesn't mean I want everybody running out questioning all their friends because they got dark circles under their eyes. But that was one of the things that she said, and that the coloring in her face would change. You know, there's so many warning signs and so much danger to this thing that we never, ever thought about.
No, we never thought about it. And I'm thinking back when I was younger, and even when my children were teenagers, you know, I never even This never would have crossed my mind.
No.
This wouldn't have been one of the things I'm looking for.
Not at all.
It just isn't.
Not at all.
So, and I wonder, well, when did this all start? And has this been going on all along? And maybe we just weren't in that, maybe it just never happened to us.
Well, that's how most of these things are, though. People don't think about it till it hits their circle of influence. But I think that this is awareness raising that should be happening everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
It should be happening everywhere. You want to talk about one more myth, Carla?
Yes. Strangulation victims should be able to detail their attacks.
Right. We get into that strange area now.
Right. And you should be able to detail their attacks.
How come you don't remember what happened?
Right. You said it happened to you.
Yes, is that.
But the fact.
Yes.
Trauma impacts the brain's ability to store memory.
Wow.
In addition, the hippocampus, part of the brain where memory is stored, is the most sensitive to oxygen deprivation.
Wow.
When a victim is strangled, both factors can impact the ability to recall.
So now, from strangulation, I can get a traumatic brain injury, or I can have memory loss. Memory loss. What if it's memory loss in a different area? What if I forget who my friends are? What if I forget the people in my family? What if I forget how to do things?
Well, yeah.
I mean, this thing is so much bigger than I thought it was. When I first thought about it, I thought it was brutal, that it was physical, and that it left these big marks around your neck, and so you had to wear these scarves around your neck so nobody knew. But this could lead to a person having this TBI situation. They could have a mental illness.
Yes.
After being strangled by somebody. And to me, I don't think there's whatever momentary pleasure they're getting out of it. I don't think it's worth it. But I could be wrong.
Anything that leads to death is not worth it. So, anything that leads to death. We're just really focusing right now on this one part, strangulation. But any part of that controlling, any part of that being physically abused, all of it leads to death. And especially, like I say, we're talking about strangulation right now, but anything that leads to death is not right. It should not be done.
Now, I'm going to tell you something else about this that's going to be you can't hardly believe it. In some states, this is not a felony.
What?
That's right.
Wow.
But thank goodness in the state of Wisconsin, it is considered a felony.
Okay.
And some of the information that we received here, I mean, we're talking about a few of the myths, but there are really about 20 of them altogether, and probably even more than that, where they talk about things that strangulation causes. But one of the most frightening things about it is that if it is strangulation in what is called an intimate partner situation, and the person strangles you, you become unconscious, they bring you back, they keep strangling you, you become unconscious, you don't die, this is non-fatal. But if you don't consider it a crime, if you think that this was just rough sex, right? And you don't say anything, you could still die.
Wow.
And I think that for people that are playing around with this, I mean, there are people that are inflicting pain with this on purpose. There are other people who believe they are consenting adults and it's okay to be doing this. What I'm going to say is get the facts. Right. Get some of the facts and then decide if you still want to do this.
Yeah.
Because in the coming episode, we're gonna discuss how quickly you can die from this.
Well, it leads
a very
to death. Yeah.
short amount of time.
Wow.
But with that said, we're going to get ready to wrap up this session. And you're going to say your famous line, Carla. What do you want them to do?
I really want you to like and subscribe. And I really want you to put your comments on what you think about this episode. You know, even if you found some other myths and facts about strangulation. And, you know, from our discussion. And I'm now I'm prolonging it, but it's like I just appreciate that we are talking about things that I haven't heard people talk about.
Yeah.
So I think it's a good thing. But if you really want to contact us, please contact us at CRC, contact us at convergenceresource.org. And I don't want them to forget about your show either, Triumph Rising, which airs Mondays at 12:30 p.m. Make sure that you watch that. I mean, there's such good information and so many topics that you address that I think it'd be worthwhile seeing. And go to our website as well if you want to see some of our past episodes.
Yes.
I know you can see them on YouTube, but you can also see them on our website, which is www.convergenceresource.org.
Right.
So make sure that you do that as well.
Yeah. You can also listen to some of the old radio shows of Triumph Rising that will come out. And we want to let you know that coming soon, there will be a blog by a survivor talking about being hidden in plain sight or surviving in plain sight. So we want to make sure that you take advantage of listening to that and send us in. There may be some topic you want us to address, you want us to talk about. Send it in to us and we'll make sure that we get an opportunity to do that. I'm so excited about this topic because just like you, Carla, I learned some things myself doing this, but we got one more topic on strangulation, and we're going to talk about the physiological effects of strangulation. Okay. Psychological, physiological, and some of them are going to shock you.
Wow.
They're going to shock you. So once again, don't have the little ones in the room when we're talking about this one. Well, we want to thank you guys so much for watching, and we just look forward to another little conversation.
The Convergence Resource Center provides comprehensive support services to women rebuilding their lives after trauma, with a focused emphasis on survivors of human trafficking and justice-involved women. Convergence Resource Center supports women on their journey of healing and restoration after trauma, with a special focus on survivors of human trafficking and women impacted by the justice system. For more information about the Convergence Resource Center and how you can get involved, visit us online at www.convergenceresource.org.